If you spent 40 years building a career, raising a family, and trusting that hard work would always pay the bills, sit down for this one. Because the man who reshaped the auto industry just quietly filed the paperwork to replace the very idea of a paycheck. Not with a robot that costs $100,000, with a robot that could run for $1 an hour. Read that again. $1 an hour. Not a wage, a cost. And here is the number that should really unsettle you. Tesla's new production line is reportedly designed to eventually produce roughly 27,000 robotic brains a day, every single day. That is not a factory. That is a birth rate for machines, and it is aimed squarely at your job, your industry, and your grandchildren's future. So how does a company build a thinking machine cheap enough to replace a human being for $1 an hour? The answer is not in the metal. It is hidden inside 3 factories most people have never heard of. Let's open that file. The academy nobody talks about. Here is what nobody is saying out loud. According to filings referenced in Tesla's second quarter 2026 disclosures, the SEC paperwork the company is legally required to submit, Tesla began tearing down part of its Model S and Model X line at the Fremont factory. Not to build another car, to build Optimus. But here is the twist that should worry you more than the robot itself. The first robots off that line are not going to a warehouse. They are not going to a hospital. They are going somewhere called Optimus Academy. Job postings tied to the program list roles like data collection operator and AI engineer, Optimus policy. Read between the lines, the first product of this new factory is not labor. It is data. Millions of hours of a machine watching, failing, and correcting itself, harvested directly from the real world before a single unit ever earns a paycheck instead of taking one. Think about what that means for the timeline you were hoping for, the one where this stays a distant, decade-away problem. It does not. Before a single robot can work for $1 an hour, it has to fail privately, 1,000,000 times, where you cannot see it. That is the quiet phase happening right now, while most people are still asking whether robots are even real. And once that phase ends, there is no gentle on-ramp. There is a switch. If this reading of the filings holds, the company is not simply testing a product. It is stockpiling the one thing that makes a $1 an hour robot possible: experience it never had to pay a human wage to acquire.